All right, you guys, welcome back to some more Hapymaher. I've probably been saying this for the past so many episodes now, but we are very close to getting into the character routes. We are in chapter 7, so it should be diverging from this point sometime soon, hopefully. Maybe. We'll see. Anyways, we just got through Christmas and that whole whatever that was. It was very interesting. Lots of laughs, lots of funny moments for sure. Anyways, it was December 31st. In other words, New Year's Eve. Even in this dream, where there had been a commotion every day since Christmas Eve, it looked like New Year's Eve would be normal. I was so grateful for that normalcy that I could have cried. It was supposed to be a dream that was messed up, and as soon as we woke up, it would be reality again, and it would be more or less peaceful. Why is this happening? I pressed against my eyes. All I wanted was to live my days peacefully, as does everybody. But you know what doesn't happen? You don't live your days peacefully, ever. When I looked out the window, I could see a slightly cloudy sky. According to the weather report, although the past few days have been sunny, it was apparently going to snow. That's what happens every time I live here. It's nice, it's sunny, and then all of a sudden it snows. I hate it. Well, hopefully we wouldn't get caught up in another ruckus like on Christmas. Changed my clothes, washed my face, brushed my teeth. My bread for breakfast should be turning into toast soon. Hopefully. I hoped I could greet the new year without incident like this, but the instant I thought that, the doorbell rang. That's why you just don't wish for anything. Just don't wish for happiness, because, you know, something will always come along to ruin it. Just kidding. That's so pessimistic to say. I'm not that pessimistic, I promise. Who is it? I knew the doorbell meant that this piece was about to be destroyed. So it's not going to be Saki, because Saki would just barge in. She has a key, right? Is it Yayoi? But I couldn't just leave them, so I opened the door with the bread still in my mouth. I know there's like a few people it could be, but I'd prefer if it was Yayoi. That'd be nice. December 31st. That afternoon, Saki came to Toru's apartment. Is it actually her? She didn't just barge into our... interesting. Every day since Christmas Eve had been eventful, and Toru had been getting caught up in it without exception. Seeing that he was exhausted, Saki had refrained from intruding in the morning. Wow, okay. How nice. Not to mention the two freeloaders, no guests, are staying at her house now, and they would have followed her if she went to wake Toru. It was one thing when they were alone together, but in front of Alice and Keiko, Saki felt a little reluctant to flirt with Toru in the morning. Wow, showing some self-restraint. Good for you. It wasn't that she was embarrassed. She wasn't planning on jumping him in his sleep or anything. It went without saying that today was New Year's Eve. Toru wanted to lounge around by himself, so he was probably going to greet the new year with a cup of noodles or something like that. He had no intention of doing any end-of-year cleaning. At least that was what he always tried to do since he started living alone. Yeah, it's very Japanese to do like an end-of-the-year cleaning. How could you not do that? And every year, Saki would bring him to her house, and they would celebrate together. Incidentally, bring was from Saki's point of view. From Toru's, it was more like she was forcefully cornered him, so he couldn't refuse, and was subsequently taken by force. Yeah, that sounds about what happens. That sounds very likely. Saki knew that he didn't really like it, but she still believed she was ultimately doing the right thing. Especially when compared to bringing in the new year with a cup of noodles. That was presumptuous of Saki. She firmly believed that he would be happier entering the new year eating delicious food together with her. She smiled matter-of-factly. It wasn't like she didn't understand why Toru couldn't do so. Each time Takahara saw that smile, she had to sympathize with Toru ever so slightly. At the same time, she was glad that Saki had grown up so strong, felt hostility towards Toru, and wondered if she did something wrong in educating Saki. And so Saki took out her key to the apartment. That morning, she stuck it into the lock. Okay, so this wasn't her that knocked on the door. Because, yeah, she would have just used the key, right? Toru told her not to, but she thought it would be fine unless something very out of the ordinary happened. Oh, is something very out of the ordinary about to happen? Whether he was changing or just coming out of the bath or whatever, she didn't have a problem with it. Yeah, I'm sure you don't, but maybe he does. What? You know, Saki, I thought you were being a nice friend, but still no. Still no. Although she found him in bed with another woman, she would take that into consideration when it happened. She was aware of her own giddiness as she opened the door. How did you beat her here, huh? For some reason, Alice was in Toru's apartment, sitting at his kotatsu. Saki froze for a moment. Not only was Alice there, but on the edge of the sofa was Saki. Where Saki and Toru usually sat was Keiko. As usual, Keiko had an impenetrable poker face. Lately, Saki had started to think maybe Keiko was just spacing out, not actually thinking of anything. Is she trying to call her dumb? I was wondering where you guys were. These two have been staying at Saki's house, after all. They had tried to stay at Toru's apartment because they were unable or unwilling to go home, so Saki took them in. Saki started to say that she was more bothered by them being here, but she swallowed her words. I'm just waiting for the inevitable knock on the door where Yayoi just pops in, you know, we're just gonna eventually get all the girls here, of course. Keiko nodded at Alice's words. Because Saki really was here, she couldn't say they were wrong. If anything, they knew her well. She didn't have any intention of leaving her guests out of the New Year's celebrations. She had wanted them all to spend it together. But was it because she was too naive that she felt like they had stolen a march on her? As far as she could see, Toru wasn't in the room. Orange, huh? Come to think of it, Saki suddenly remembered last year when she tried to lie on Toru's lap and he put an orange in her mouth. What? The gesture made her happy and it looked like he had only done so because he felt awkward. I feel like from her perspective she took that very sexually. I don't want to elaborate any further. Hey, he's not eating a cup of noodles. Alice figured that happiness and trouble seemed to go together. You got a very weird outlook on life, if that's what you think, but okay. It was none of her business, so she said nothing. Yeah, see, that's your problem. There's plenty of other people that you can be friends with. Just because you love somebody doesn't mean you only get to be interested in them, okay? It's perfectly fine to have other people you like. Doesn't have to be in that way, but you know, you can enjoy the company of others, okay? Alice pulled Saki down next to her, then she hugged Saki from the side, smelled her hair. I'm telling you, every visual novel I play, the character's always smelling the hair. Always. Is that like a really big Japanese thing to do? You smell each other's hair? It's usually the main protagonist doing it and being a pervert, but you know, it's a little less weird when Alice does it. Is that bad? Am I a bad person for thinking that? Like, oh, if it's another girl, whatever, who cares, you know, whatever. But it's like the protagonist does it, pervert, weirdo, you know? Later this had become a norm when Saki came out of the bath. Actually, it happened when they were taking a bath together, too. Yeah, there's definitely some rumors like that. Yeah, probably. They called themselves siblings, but their surnames were different, and Saki stuck to Toru. And even though he treated her coldly, he was totally obsessed with her. Taking those things into consideration, it seemed right that there would be rumors.
トールはいつでもサキちゃんの匂いも抱き心地も味わい放題なんでしょ。しかもサキちゃんもトールじゃないと嫌とか。つまりこの嫉妬は正しかったのね。嫉妬ね。何サキちゃん。
嫉妬で人をどうにかしていいなら、私ってば兄さんにどこまでしていいのかしら。
Oh gosh. Don't give her ideas.
ごめん、いや、サキちゃんの前で無意識にトールに近づいたりしてほんと。
いいんですよ。選ぶのは兄さんですから。その結果はきちんと受け入れますよ。
But you didn't say you wouldn't do anything after you accepted it. Thought Keiko, but she said nothing. All she could do was pray for Toru's safety in the event of such a situation. You know, Keiko, you are a really good friend. A really good friend. Yes, please pray for Toru.
そういえば、ケイコは家の方大丈夫なのよね。大丈夫です。クリスマスの件もすっかり過去のことになってるみたいですし。
Just as Toru and the others had predicted, the whole ordeal was being treated like a distant dream. It wasn't that it hadn't happened, it just wasn't affecting anything. The relationship between Hirosaka and her father was like that beforehand, so it wasn't something that would change in a single
う
day.
ちもあんなに大騒ぎしてさすがに怒られると思ったんですけど、これといって何もありませんでしたし。
まあ、その後もいろいろありましたしね。
Gosh. Yeah, you can say that again. Keiko smiled faintly with distant eyes. Depending on the person, she might have appeared a little wiser.
そうだよね。楽しかったな。
Saki and Keiko looked at Alice, surprised.
何？楽しくなかった？なんか楽しんでた私がおかしいのかな？
Okay, well, to be fair, Alice, out of, like, the events of the past, like, 2 episodes, you probably had the easiest job, okay? I mean, you just kind of came flying in on a freaking Santa sleigh. Like, what was up with that?
おかしいというか、ポジティブだなと思って。普通疲れたり嫌になったりしません？
確かに疲れるし、チクショーって思うことはあるけど、みんなと一緒だから楽しかったよ。
I just really want to know if my theory about her being in a coma is true. Alice has this very interesting personality. It's very serious at times, right? When it comes to dealing with cutting off the flowers and things like that, but she's very much like a cartoony kind of character in the sense of personality-wise and kind of what maybe her interests are, I guess, if you want to put it that way. I really do like Alice. Like, I'm not saying anything bad about it, but she seems to have very little, like, cares in the world. Kind of like a child, you know, that kind of has everything taken care of for them. They don't really know what it's like to be on their own and to have to do things and fend for themselves. I get this sense of I don't even know how to say it. She's very naive, okay? And I don't think she's completely naive. I do think I'm not saying she is a child. I'm just saying she has a childlike personality at times. Alice's smile was so dazzling that Saki and Keiko had to look away.
さすがにどこもかしこも草まみれだし、この状況もどうにかしないとねとは思うけど。
Yeah, I think we should do something with the situation too, but you know, Alice said as she played with the leaf of a dream plant growing out of the table. Saki said that the leaf, which was orange with black veins running through it, looked something more appropriate for Halloween. Kind of sounds like it. Why does it have veins?
まるでどうにかしたくないような物言いですけど。不謹慎かもしんないけど、いつも通りの日常に戻ったら、みんなと騒げなくなっちゃうなって思ったら、ちょっとね。
Yeah, I have a feeling once we get more into Alice's backstory, like, it's gonna be kind of, like, sad. I just get that vibe. I get that vibe from people that appear very happy on the outside. I don't know, I had a coworker talking about, I don't know if it was a family member or something that ended up, like, taking their life, let's just put it that way. There's no really way to sugarcoat that, but they ended up taking their life, and she was like, oh, he was like the happiest person and everything, and he was always super nice to everybody. And it's like, yeah, some of those people do that to cover up problems they have, right? Some of the people that are hurting the most are nice and try to do things for others because they don't want others to feel like they do. So I'm wondering, if it's going to be something like that with Alice, where she's like this really happy, bubbly person and tries to help people, and but maybe she has some pain on the inside, and maybe she doesn't even remember it right now. I'm not too sure. I'm very much looking forward to learning more about her, because I think she's kind of the wild card of the story. Don't really know much about her. We're slowly getting a little bit more. It's nice that we get to hang out with her right now, but there's definitely a lot more to her story, I think, than we're getting right now. She flicked a leaf away with her finger and it disappeared, melting into the air. It was gone, but not really. Even though it had disappeared, it was still there. The leaf was like a dream itself. The three of us watched it disappear. Saki figured that Toru would probably say, we can meet up and play after, too, but she chose to keep silent. She still didn't know where Alice came from. In this situation where dreams and reality were so jumbled together, Alice's memories were also jumbled. The reason Saki was letting Alice stay at her house was because she didn't know where she actually lived. So Saki didn't know if they would be able to meet with Alice when the dream had ended, so she couldn't make any
あの
promises.
人も終わらせたくないんでしょうか。あの人って誰？トル？それともケイコのお父さん？ルートウィッチ先輩です。騒ぎの中でも生き生きしてるじゃないですか。
In the past few days, Yayoi had been the one most involved besides Toru, and she had been the cause of commotion more often than not. As far as overcoming the dream, she had come to be able to manipulate the dream more skillfully than Toru or
弥
Alice.
生先輩は適応力高いからこの状況にも馴染んでるだけだと思うけど。
I don't know, I kind of go back and forth between what I think Yayoi is actually thinking. I do think she's confident. I do wonder, though, she's confident to cover up insecurities. I think I might have mentioned that before, but... Keiko pondered. I don't know why I find this really funny. Like, Keiko thinks. Keiko thought. You know? Like, it kind of reads like a children's book, where they're like, the character's thinking, hard about something. No matter how absurd and messed up the current situation was, her relationship with her father was the same. In that case, she wanted things to return to normal, if only because that was less tiring, though she figured that was probably the reason why she wasn't as skilled when it came to altering the dream. But by that logic, then Yayoi, being the most skilled at dream alteration, must be the one who wanted to wake up the least. Interesting. So by the logic that she is the one that can manipulate the dream the most, she could make it the most interesting for herself or others, would probably be the one that wanted to wake up the least. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? If the dream's good and you feel like you have power over the dream, then yeah, you'd want to stay there, because you can make anything happen. It was a groundless theory, of course. Keiko had no intention of saying it, but her reasoning was flawed, too.
いくら慣れていても夢よりも現実を望んでいるはずの先輩はどうしてまだ夢の扱いがあんなにうまいんでしょうか。
I do wonder if part of the reason why Toru is so much able to manipulate some of these dreams is because maybe Maya wants him to. Maybe Maya in her own twisted way is kind of helping Toru gain the courage to face her, right? Kind of an interesting thought. Like, she definitely seems like the kind of character that wants to manipulate him into making a big mistake and then trapping him forever, but at the same time, she said that, she's our ally, and she does kind of want to help us in a way, right? His experience with lucid dreams probably helps. But yeah, then he's always seemed to be good at controlling dreams as well. And I mean, she could just be playing to that and kind of allowing him to change dreams. I'd like to say that Maya has a good control over the dreams to a certain extent. They kind of make it seem like she doesn't, but I think she does. There's also how he had kept waking up even in the dream, but...
そういえば最近 あんまりうまく鍵が用意できなくなってるんだよね。
Alice pulled a handful of keys from her pocket and spread them out on the table. An old brass key, an ornament, and its silver key, a bent wire that looked like it had been hastily made by a thief. Those keys were all supposed to lead to different dreams. It's very interesting. I'm guessing those are the keys that Maya presented to us that kind of like helps us go down certain routes, and we kind of had like a dream with, you know, Yayoi after that. It's very interesting. But Alice said that lately all she could do was jump somewhere inside this dream town. Not only that, but she couldn't unlock the doors to that dream room anymore. Even Alice's ability to alter the dream was growing weaker. Then what was happening to Toru and Yayoi?
真面目に考えるだけバカらしいです。え、何が？扉の行き先？それもです。だいたいいくら夢だからって未来の秘密道具みたいに飛べる方がおかしいんですから。
Interesting. It's probably because she thought this strange that she couldn't alter the
確か
dream.
にみんなどうしてあんなに好き勝手できるのか不思議ね。
Wait, Hasano-san, aren't you the one who's really good at pulling out dangerous things like swords and guns? She's a little too good if you ask me. No, she wasn't gonna ask. No point stepping on that tiger's tail.
そうですね。
In the end, despite everything she was thinking, that was all she could say. Saki seemed to think of Keiko as her can't-alter dreams buddy because she showed no signs of doubting Keiko.
二人とも想像力が足りてないのよ。もっと自由に生きなきゃ。
想像力ですか？
Nothing came to mind for Saki or Keiko.
あれ？だけどこれってもしかして年下組の方が現実見てるってことなのかな？
Younger girls. Do we even know how old Alice is compared to Toru? I have no idea. Suddenly realizing this, Alice's expression turned indescribably awkward. Clearly she was wishing that she hadn't come to this realization.
一番上が弥生先輩で、次が兄さんとアリスさん。
あ、うん。私多分トールと同い年だから。本当だってば。
I mean, yeah, we kind of assumed that she would... I mean, you would assume she's around everybody else's age, right? But I don't know. Right, of course, said Saki and Keiko together hesitatingly. After living together, Saki and Keiko had come to understand each other's pace. They were both rather detached, so they probably had a lot in common, according to
それで
Yayoi.
1年間が空いて、その下が私と平坂さんだから。
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
何ですかこの品のないチャイムの押し方は。このメンツだと新聞とか追っ払うのは私の役目だよね。
Is that what your dad made you do, or what? Leaving it to Saki might result in something terrible happening in the worst case scenario, and it didn't seem right to leave it to Keiko either. And since they just been talking about it, she was the eldest, Alice stood up, reluctant to leave the kotatsu.
どちら様ですか？
She pushed the intercom. Unfortunately, there wasn't a camera.
もしかしてアリス？え、お楽しみ中だった？
Alright, yeah. I knew Yayoi was gonna appear. It was only a matter of time. Hearing the voice, Keiko's face turned a little
お
sour.
楽しみといえば、さきちゃん相手に匂い嗅いだり抱きしめたりお楽しみ中だったんだけど。
So that's kind of fun.
何変なこと言ってるんですか？
Dang. Guys, hold up. Do we ship Saki and Alice together? I mean, why is she blushing like that? Like, it's not Toru doing it to her, so why does she care, huh?
まあいいわ。さきちゃんもいるなら私も混ぜて。というか、いろいろ持ってきたから手が塞がってて扉開かないの。
You know, I think... I'm sorry, I'm getting off track again. But I think it'd be really funny if there was a visual novel where all the girls get with each other. You know, like they pair up, and then the main protagonist is just alone. Like, that would suck. But it'd be pretty funny to watch. Let's send her away! Yes, Keiko, yes. This is freaking dark, Keiko. Freaking having these, just savage thoughts. Having realized it was Yayoi from the voice, Keiko tried to reject her.
そうきっぱり言うところは好きだよ。だけど、私もさきちゃんもそう言わないので、2対1だから受け入れられないのでした。
Wow, okay. Oh, yeah, sure. Just tell her that. Everyone's just being really open and honest today. Good job, guys. Keiko looked at Saki like she wanted to say something, but Saki shook her head to say not to turn Yayoi away. Keiko's cheeks puffed out enough that someone who was used to it would be able to tell she was a little sulky. Alice went to open the front door. You know, it's not a party without Yayoi, duh. That's what she said. Alice, Saki, and Yayoi were lined up on one side of the kotatsu. It was a normal sized kotatsu, so Saki was almost sitting on their laps. I'm really disappointed they didn't give us a CG here. I want to see what's going on. They've been holding back on these CGs. Sandwiched between the two, Saki looked rather limp, plus they wouldn't let her out. This is also the fact that she was already tired from all the attention Alice had given her. Yayoi had brought a lot of stuff. There were drinks and food, and there was also a separate Boston bag. Alright, I know one of y'all knows what it is. What is a Boston bag? I don't know. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not gonna pretend. Yayoi's theatrical tone irritated Keiko.
さっき冷蔵庫にいろいろしまってましたけど、本当に何持ってきたんですか？
お鍋の材料。どうせ他に誰かいるだろうと思って多めに買ってきたんだけど、まさかみんないるとは思わなかったわ。
Ooh, a Hotpot sounds kind of good.
そのみんなの中にいるのに文句を言うんですか？別に文句じゃないわよ。ああ、ほんとだ。さきちゃんっていい匂いするわ。
Or Saki just having everybody smell her. Combing Saki's hair with her hand, Yayoi brought some of it up to her nose. Saki gave a wry smile. Wow, how cold, that person.
もうアリスさんに散々やられた後だし、慣れて。
トールにしか許してなかった体を。
えよ。
私たちにも開いてくれたのね。
弥生先輩、あんまり調子乗ってると打ちますよ。
Wow, and I believe she'll do it.
ごめんなさい。だからもうちょっと楽しませて。
Yayoi wasn't saying anything weird. She was just brushing her hair and petting her head, so Saki didn't have an actual reason to shoot her. She sighed. Darn, I didn't have an actual reason. That was just way too casual. Like, yeah, I can't shoot her because, you know, I don't have a reason. Darn it. Despite what she said, Yayoi's touch was gentle, and Saki didn't really mind being doted on like this. Wow, okay. Maybe she's at the point where she's so deprived of getting attention from the one person she wants attention from that she's just kind of opening up, like Yayoi said, you know?
朝日先輩のことを構えばいいのに。
And maybe it's precisely because she was an attentive big sister that she was so used to it. When Yayoi touched people, she tended to be really timid or terribly gentle. It always struck Saki as odd considering how Yayoi acted around Toru. Having another sigh, Saki took out her cell phone and called someone.
もしもし、高原さんですか？お願いしたいことがあるんですけど。
何でしょうか。内藤くんがまたぐずってるんですか？
Wow, okay. Apparently they're freaking used to him being grouchy.
今兄さんは買い物に出てて帰ってきてないんです。今年もうちでお蕎麦打ってましたよね。後で兄さんに取りに行かせるので5人分分けておいてもらえませんか？
Alice's face perked up like that of a cat, suddenly noticing a treat.
分けておくのは構いませんけど、5人分ですか？
それとすみません。今年はこっちで年を越そうと。父さんにはきちんと私から後で言いますから。
Well, this is surprisingly considerate of her. I mean, I like that she's just getting food for everybody, you know? And it seems like they're really getting along right now. Kind of nice.
お嬢様、何度も言っていますが、あまりそうやって若い男の家に入り浸るのも感心できません。
Nobody asked Takahara.
高原さんが心配してるようなことにはなりませんよ。今日は他に3人学校の先輩がいますから大丈夫です。まさか兄さんがそんな状況で大それたことができるとでも思っているんですか？
Unless he goes for the harem ending. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. The other three rolled their eyes as they immediately dismissed the thought from their minds. Toru didn't have the guts to do such a thing, and Takahara-san, having known him for a while, naturally thought the same.
わかりました。お蕎麦は用意しておきます。ですが、社長にはおっしゃった通り、ご自分で連絡してくださいね。
Like how she says company president instead of your dad or your father.
ありがとうございます。あ、それとあまり兄さんに意地悪しちゃダメですよ。
それでは、後ほど。
Takahara-san hung up. She was definitely going to do something to Toru when he went over there. Asaki figured it'd be fine and perished a thought from her mind.
けどさきちゃんの家に
Wow.
トールにお使いをさせるなんてひどいんだから。
Everyone already knew about how Toru was treated at the Hasano estate and his relationship with Takahara-san. As Saki was making him pick up the soba and needed to greet the new year away from home at that, they felt a little sorry for him.
この寒い中、女の子にお使いをさせろって言うんですか？
別に私行ってきてもいいけど、料理とかできないからそんくらいしか手伝えないし。
Saki secretly rejoiced at hearing that there was someone else in the group who couldn't cook.
いいんです。なんだ
Wow,
かんだ言
okay.
って兄さんは社員さんに人気あるから。お蕎麦の他にもたくさん美味しいものもらって帰ってきてくれますよ。
Despite what Takahara had said, she'd probably prepare other things besides the soba. Toru was treated like a little brother by the Hasano employees, both male and female. Even Saki's father saw Toru as Saki's good friend as long as he didn't try anything. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame Toru for never wanting to touch Saki. Can you imagine the drama and everything that would happen in his life if he, like, went out with her or did anything, and then for some reason it didn't work out, and then he ends up dead in a ditch somewhere? You know, not preferable life to live, you know? I wouldn't blame him for keeping some distance here. So if something did happen, it wouldn't do for him to find out.
それにもしもそれで私がお使いに行ったりしたら、ここが兄さんのハーレムになるじゃないですか。
Yeah, but, I mean, is that a bad thing? You know what I'm saying, you know? Saki said with a quiet
な
laugh.
るほどなるほど。だけど自分がその中にいればいいんだ。さきちゃん
Hey, yo! Wow, so Saki's a cuck.
そうですね。目の届かないところで勝手されるのは嫌ですけど。
Hey, yo!
私もその中にいれば。
I mean, are they implying what I think they're implying? Saki's like, yeah, you can do whatever the frick you want as long as I'm involved. Hey, yo.
なんて意地らしい。私がトールなら絶対逃がさないのに。
I don't know. I think that's kind of sad that, like, she has kind of given up on the idea of ever having him alter herself. I mean, obviously she wants that, but she's to the point where, yeah, I mean, he can look at other women long as he's looking at me too, I guess.
先輩の形はどうあれ、ハスノさんを逃がすつもりはないんじゃないですか。
Interesting observation.
もうちょっときちんと捕まえてほしいのに。
Yeah, you say that, but let's be honest, he doesn't need to. You put him in a position where you're so desperate to have him that he doesn't need to pay you any attention because he knows that you're gonna follow him either way. I mean, he could think that way. That's a bad way to think. I'm not condoning that, right? I'm just saying that's the reality is he doesn't need to spend time with her as much because either way, she'll probably be around. Though I do think Toru's the kind of guy who will still show her attention sometimes. He's still very considerate of her feelings because he does enjoy having her around, and she is like a close friend of his. He does genuinely care about her, so I don't think he would ever do something like that, but the reality is I don't think he has to do much to keep her around. She'll stay around either way.
のろけよね。なのにどうしてこんなにさきちゃんが不憫なのかしら。
That was probably because Saki understood the position she was in. Saki's bravery almost brought Alice to
そ
tears.
れはそれとして、先輩遅いですね。そういえばそうね。どこまで買い物行ってるのかしら。
You know, that's a great question. Where did he go shopping at? Wonder if he got into some trouble. Well, what's going on here? Upon returning from shopping, things were obviously in a different state from when I had left. I couldn't imagine that Alice and Hirosaka could be having this much fun by themselves. Wondered if Saki had come while I was gone. With a click, I opened the door and entered the apartment. Ah, what the hell?
いや、女の子が4人も待ってるのを見て、なんだこれはないと思う。
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, why is Saki all limp between Club Prez and Alice? Come on, let her go. Grumbling, Club Prez and Alice moved away from Saki and sat somewhere else. I don't know, I think she was enjoying it. Not necessarily because, like, oh, I'm surrounded by, you know, some girls or whatever. Not in that way, but I think she was enjoying, like, having people that kind of enjoyed her company, right? Saki remained limp on the sofa and Hirosaka petted her head.
平坂さん
This is great. Like, see, this is really wholesome. Like, I'm really glad we're at this point where all the girls are getting along so well. I mean, obviously Keiko and Yayoi, you know, it's a little bit iffy, but at least they're all hanging out together. It feels like they're getting along.
2人がやってたのを見て、つい。
What were you doing while I was gone?
別に大したことはしてないわ。トールの代わりにサキちゃんを可愛がってただけよ。ねえ、アリス。
トールはずっとサキちゃんを独り占めか。よく今まで無事だったよね。
The conversation took a dangerous turn. And because the two had been crawling in and out of the kotatsu, the room was full of the characteristic sweet smell of the girls. Well, actually, Club Prez alone was probably the source of most of it. She always wore a nice perfume that wasn't too overpowering. Wait, why are you here, Club Prez?
トールのハーレムに色を添えてあげようと思って。
Gotta add a touch of color to your harem. Well, freaking, we need some more diversity here. We got like this kind of, I don't know. Was she British or American? I can't remember. Or she could be German. I mean, she's got the whole blonde and blue eyes thing going on, but I'm not gonna get into that, okay? But I'm assuming the rest of the girls are Asian. We need some more diversity here, okay? Club Prez made a cute pose as she twisted a lock of her hair around her finger. I was fascinated for a moment, but quickly composed myself. He was like, ooh, piece of candy.
この人もここで年を越すつもりらしいですよ。
何よ。ケイコやアリスと違ってちゃんとお鍋の材料だって用意してきたんだからいいじゃない。
Ah, so you bought your way into the party is what you're
そっち
saying.
のボストンバッグは？
着替えとか。トールの前で着替えるのはちょっと恥ずかしいかな。
Hey, yo.
ちょっとくらいなら。
I mean, Saki pretty much said she was okay with it. That's pretty much what I got. Long as she's included.
普段夢の中の衣装が水着か下着みたいな見た目のくせして、今更何言ってるんですかね。
Damn. Okay, Keiko. Okay. You bring in the heat. Okay.
よし、わかったわ。今夜は添い寝もサービスしてあげる。というか、ベッド使いたいし。それ、弥生先輩。残念ながら、ベッドは私と兄さんで埋まってます。
Are they all gonna get into the bed? I feel like that's where this is going.
ねえ、川の字になれば3人くらい寝られるわよ。
Then I won't sleep in the bed. Wait, you plan on staying the night? Immediately, and with a serious face, Club Prez nodded. Why did my head hurt a little? I can think of a lot of reasons. Masaki was calmer than usual as she drank the tea she had apparently made herself.
別にいいわよ。弥生先輩も泊まっていくなら、私も泊まっていくだけだもの。
Yeah, Saki's literally okay with anything now, long as she's included.
それなら私も。ケイコも一緒だよね。邪魔なら帰りますけど。そうなると、ハスノさんの家には行きづらいですね。
She's just trying to act like, oh, yeah, whatever. If you guys are doing it too, I guess, you know? If you want to stay the night somewhere, you can do it at Saki's house. Alice and Club Prez started booing. Wait, it makes sense if you think about it. This place would be way too cramped with 5 people lying around. Even if they did say there was only room for 2 in the bed, 1 on the sofa and 1 in the kotatsu. That was it. The last one would have to sleep next to the bed or behind the sofa or something. They would definitely get stepped on. More importantly, having girls here besides Saki would be unbearable in various other ways. It was even hard to imagine. Not that I was planning on pouncing on any of them. Also, it wasn't like Saki could stay here either. Club Prez, why don't you go home? Why are you the most prepared to stay?
キアラは三が日もダラダラしようと思ってたから。
Ooh. Go home.
何よ、金髪巨乳美少女が一日中そばでダラダラするって言ってんのよ。何が不服なの？
You're really playing to your advantage here, huh? Busty, blonde beauty.
この人自分のこと美少女って言いましたよ。
Alright, I've been like getting over being sick, so I like apologize. That's why I haven't really made any videos lately.
全体的に否定しづらいのがまた立ち悪いよね。
Yeah. Clever puffed out her cheeks and pursed her lips. Only a loser would think she looked cute. In other words, I was a loser.
というかトールン、本当に私は帰らないとダメなの？何それ、仲間外れ？
It's not that I want to leave you out, but I understood why it was hard for Hirosaka to go home. Christmas Eve was being treated like a dream, so no big problems would come from it, but there was still friction between father and daughter. Crazily enough, Alice didn't know where her home was, so that couldn't really be helped. Though in that case, I would rather she stayed at the Hosono house with Saki rather than my apartment. In that sense, Club Prez was... Could it be that Asahi and Tetsuya are flirting at home?
大体そんなとこよ。ま、哲也は泊まってったりはしないけど。
That was only a pretext. I had seen Club Prez's dreams. I saw how she had been treated and how she wasn't directly related to her family. Recently, I had come to notice something. Club Prez often had a lonely look on her face when she looked at Asahi. It was usually at those times that she called me to distract her. Didn't we kind of learn that was a little bit because she's maybe jealous of Asahi, you know, being in a relationship and everything, even though she's the younger sister? I can't remember if that was in a dream or reality. We got some kind of inner thoughts on that, I guess. It wasn't good to arbitrarily decide what someone was feeling, but Club Press generally wanted to stay here. As long as you call home, and also as long as someone else stays here, so it's not just you, it's fine.
やった、さすがトール、話せばわかる男ね。トールって女の子には基本的に激甘よね。
I mean, I wouldn't always say it's that he's soft either on girls. I think that it's just all the girls in his life are so demanding. Like, they need so much attention. There's, you know, quite a few of them that around all the time. You know, he kind of is trying to do his best, really.
そんなにおっぱいが偉いんですか、兄さん。
Yes. Yes, he does. As any reasonable man would answer this question as yes, hi, see, what, you know, whatever language you speak, you'll say yes to this question. Most will. You know, it maybe you're gay and you don't like boobs. That's fine too. But, you know, I think all men can appreciate them, whether you're really attracted to them super or not. I mean, they're just nice, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. And that logic, why did I let Hirosaka stay here then?
今とてつもなく嫌なことを考えている気配がしました。
I don't know, was that rude to say? I feel like even women would say that boobs are great. So, except for when you're running, I'd imagine them bouncing all the time is very discomforting. I don't know, it's probably just not that comfortable. But I feel like most of the time they'd say yes.
モテるものっていうのはそれだけで罪ね。
Yeah, we are pretty popular. Club Press said as she twirled her hair. I had a feeling that Hirosaka's irritation amused her.
あ、そうそう。後でうちに行ってきて、高原さんからおそば受け取ってきてね。兄さんが行くってもう伝えてあるから。
When did this get set up? You weren't here, my guy. Actually, couldn't everyone just spend New Year's at the Hosono estate? I mean, that would probably be the better option, but you know, everyone wants to stay at your house, my guy. And I mean, who are you to complain when you have all these beautiful women trying to stay with you, okay? I mean, I don't think you have any right to complain. Her house was big, and they would actually be happy to have Club Raj join in.
ハスノさんは好きだけど、ここでみんなとがいいな。
Alice protested by gently pounding on the kotatsu. It's a childish gesture, but the sight of her breasts bouncing and being pressed down on the table were anything but childish. Wow, we talk about boobs for 2 seconds and already, you know, he's like analyzing it like, oh, they bounced. You know, being pressed down on the table, anything but childish. You know, he's got a lot to say.
だそうよ、兄さん。
For a moment, I felt a chill as I realized that Saki might have noticed where I was looking, sending me to Takahara-san on an errand. What kind of punishment is that? The soba they made at the Hosono house for New Year's was very, very good, so I didn't mind. But I had a bad feeling about going there alone when Saki fully intended to stay the night here.
罰ゲームじゃなくて、女の子に囲まれて年越しできる分のお仕事じゃない。 つべこべ言わないの。
I think that's reasonable. That makes me feel like it can't be helped. Does that mean I'm naive? I kind of get the feeling I'm being tricked. Pros and cons don't always cancel each other out.
下心もなく単に親切だけで動かれるよりは安心しますけど。
兄さんの場合どうかしら。
Feel like I'm being made fun of as a man.
あら、普段より察しがいいのね。
Though this was all a little mean, I kind of looked forward to welcoming the new year with everyone.
やっぱ私はみんなと一緒に年越しなんてすごい楽しそうだからそうしたい。
Well, frick, let's do it. Alice's straightforwardness made me feel dumb for thinking about it so hard. Fine, let's get ready for New Year's. Alice joyfully cheered with her hands in the air. But think carefully until the end about whether you're going to stay the night, alright? If you don't feel like it, then go to Saki's house. I suddenly realized, what if I went to stay at the Hosono estate like last year? Of course I would stay in one of the guest rooms, but that would solve the problem of trying to maintain my self-control and also the problem of space.
アリスが友達との年越しを楽しみたいって言ってるんだから諦めなさい。
So it seems. So what did you buy, Club
みんない
Prez?
ると思ってお鍋の材料を買ってきたわ。下ごしらえくらいはできるわよ。
Why don't we do it together? Saki
アリス
laughed.
さんも料理できないそうよ。
It went without saying that Saki couldn't cook. Club Prez could hardly cook, and I wasn't much of a cook.
私はできますよ。なんでよ。
Ooh,
この
Keiko.
中で一番縁遠そうなのに。
Yeah, I would definitely say Keiko's probably... I don't know. I feel like she's kind of had to fend for herself, so I'd imagine she knows how to cook somewhat. At least I would hope so, because she doesn't seem like the kind of person to me, even though she kind of seems like she's just very chill. She doesn't seem like the kind of person that would probably eat noodles all the time.
花嫁修行だかなんだかの一環で習わされましたから。
Yeah, I mean, clearly she's had a little bit of a nicer upbringing, right? And I don't say nice as in desirable, I'm just saying, like, nice as in, like, fancy. In short, we're counting on you, Hirosaka. Since Hirosaka was the only one here who could
そ
cook,
れは構いませんけど、この人数ですから手伝いくらいはしてもらえますよ。
she sounded annoyed, but no one protested, so we excitedly got to work. Ooh, making some hot pot. And so we had a hot pot. We moved the remaining stew over to the stove. Tomorrow we could eat it with rice porridge or udon. In place of the hot pot, everyone now had a portion of soba in front of them. I'd gone on my bike to pick up the fresh soba and sauce, and Hirosaka had skillfully boiled and prepared them for us.
うわ、おいしい。おお、これならいくらでも食べられるよ。確かに美味しいけど、アリス、あなたお鍋の時も結構食べてたわよね。
The Prez loved Japanese cuisine, so she had been looking forward to the soba, but it was after the hot pot she didn't eat that much.
そういうルートイッチ先輩も結構食べていたみたいですけど。稽古はあんまり食べてなかったわね。だから薄いのよ、いろいろ。
Wow, okay, that's why you're so thin in more ways than one. Wow.
それは3人でガツガツ食べるから平坂さんの用意が追いつかなかっただけじゃないかな。
ごめんごめん。だけど稽古がいいところでよそってくれるからつい。ほら。
Yeah, that was better than the hot pot I usually eat. You really are good at cooking.
あのくらいでうまいと言われると何と比べてるのかわかりませんけど。
Okay, Keiko, you don't have to be so humble.
あれ、もしかして稽古照れてる？何言ってるんですか？
Next to them, Saki pouted a little. What's wrong, Saki?
別に兄さんは料理上手な女の子に憧れてましたものね。
It seems he does. Well, it's better to be able to than not, right? Maybe I was just being a little sexist, but it seems strange that among all the girls here, Hirosaka was the only one who could cook.
まあ、私も自分の意思で習いたいと言ったわけではないですし。
Saki nodded silently with her eyes.
とはいえ、技術そのものは悪いものではないですし、他のことに比べて役に立つので、敬意はともあれ、料理は嫌いじゃありません。
I don't know. I think one thing I do appreciate about all the cast of girls that we have is they all seem like they're kind of capable in their own ways. Like I said, Alice, we don't really know too much about, and I think there's some special circumstances behind that. But most of the girls, I mean, they're girly, right? Like, let's not deny that, right? They're pretty girly characters. But at the same time, they're not like, oh, I need, you know, you to save me. I would say maybe the best or the closest fit to maybe like that would be Keiko, right? But I think Keiko is also very capable on her own, right? Like she really doesn't need Toru to do all the things. She kind of just does her own thing, and Toru just so happens to kind of help her with that. But I think she's perfectly capable of taking care of herself, and I think the circumstances she's had have kind of made her that way. I mean, between her upbringing and then just not feeling maybe comfortable at home, she's kind of had to grow up a little bit faster maybe than she would have otherwise. She's kind of had to see maybe a darker side of the world, right? Life can be hard. There's a lot of challenges, a lot of bad times. Yayoi, I think, has experienced that too. I mean, she's obviously a little bit older too, but I think she's pretty mature. I think most of the girls are pretty mature. Like I said, Alice has a little bit of a different situation, a little bit of a different maybe upbringing going on, but for the most part, I think a lot of these girls are just pretty independent. I mean, I think they're perfectly capable of taking care of themselves. Despite her words, Hirosaka sighed.
私もいろいろ習い事はしてるもの。
That's true. It was just that in her case, she wasn't just trained to be a proper lady.
トールの醸し出すサキちゃんの習い事に触れちゃいけない空気は
Alice narrowed her eyes as she placed some grated daikon and some sliced scallions on her
普
soba.
通よ普通。日本舞踊とか。
Kind of surprised we haven't had a moment with like the girls doing some kind of like traditional Japanese type dance. I could see that happening in Saki's, especially because she seems to be wearing kind of a what looks like a yukata as her like dream outfit. I could see that
それお
happening.
嬢様っぽい
Seems normally ladylike.
私もやってますけどね
Are they trying to one up each other? Does that mean they become friends? Everything Saki is learning is about moving the body, like self-defense, and self-defense.
なんでかぶってるのよ
Because it wasn't just one kind. Judo, Aikido, and even Krav Maga from an acquaintance who used to be a soldier. Also firearms training. Oh yeah, and didn't she learn Kendo and something else that involved
兄
blades?
さん、分かってると思うけど、どれもこれも家の仕事に関わることですからね。
Yeah, your family's work seems kind of scary. I know, I understand. Well, half of that stuff was the company, was that the company employees were trained in too. They were a private security contractor after all.
もしかして稽古もやってたりする一応それなりには
Far from a little bit, Hirosaka had practiced it quite seriously. Whether there were rules or not, I probably wouldn't stand a chance against
最
her.
近のお嬢様って武闘派なのかしら自分の身って自分で守るもの
Basically, but I think it would be fine if the people around the ladies protected them. Also, that's a very interesting comment. The ladies these days are the ladies these days into fighting. Almost like she... so I mean, if she was in a coma for like even like 10 years or something, I guess, yeah. That would be at quite the distance. But I don't know, it almost seems like she's from like a whole nother time. Basically, I think it'd be fine if the people around the ladies protected them. And Club Prez obviously didn't like exercise. It was like a reverse hierarchy, where even among our youth, the older we got, the weaker we became.
大丈夫。兄さんなら押し倒してきても抵抗しないから。
Oh yeah, I'm sure you won't. So that means you can resist if you wanted to. Oh yeah, she could freaking whoop your ass. Like, let's not kid ourselves, Toru. She could freaking force you to do whatever she wanted, really.
むしろやろうと思えばさ
Yeah, that's what I'm
無理
saying.
やり押し倒せるってことでもあるんじゃ
Like, here, look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Saki smiled and said nothing. I silently ate my soba. Ah, as always, the Hasuno's New Year soba had a great flavor and
な
texture.
んて具合にトールが現実逃避を始めたわけですが
I mean, we're technically not even in reality right now. I can't escape from it because I'm already gone. Let me just eat in peace. I'm begging you.
今までそうしてないことは信頼にならないのかしら。
言っておくけど私はそこまでできませんからね
Why are you trying to throw something out here, Keiko? Are you trying to insinuate like, oh, you could push me down? I probably wouldn't be able to resist, you know? For some reason, Saki looked at Hirosaka surprised. Hirosaka turned to her with an kind of expression. We three who had eaten too much Hotpot were a little nervous to touch on the subject, so we silently worked on our soba. Ah, much. They'd given us a lot of condiments as well as some boxes of osachi for us to eat on New Year's Day. As we feasted on rolled omelets and delicious soba, we watched the customary New Year's singing matches on the TV. Alice, you see any groups you know?
だいたいなんとなく変化とかなら結構知ってるけど最近のところはあんまり
Thought maybe I could revive Alice's forgotten memories that way, but it looked like it wouldn't be easy.
今年もウィンドウイレース出てたんですね
Window erase.
誰それ？
Hirosaka looked back at Clepress in surprise, seeing as it didn't sound like she was trying to pick a fight for once, but unfortunately Alice didn't know either. Saki and I don't know of many recent groups.
私は兄さんよりは詳しいわよ。
Seeing that we were more familiar with Enka despite our age, Hirosaka gave us a disappointed look.
つまりあれね、最近の流行なんて詳しくても友達作る役に立つわけじゃないと。
And I mean, I don't think you should learn about popular things just to fit in with people, right? I mean, enjoy what you enjoy. If you enjoy older stuff, that's fine. There's a group of people out there that enjoy older stuff, okay? If you like newer stuff, then don't be ashamed to like newer stuff, you know? I think you can appreciate things nowadays, you can appreciate things back then. You don't have to like just one or the other, or you can if you want. You know, it's up to you. Don't just casually say what I thought, but didn't say out loud.
なんかケイコはなんで友達少ないのかな
I don't know, Keiko seems like the kind of girl that would maybe find friendships difficult. And not that she couldn't be friends with people, but just they're hard to maintain in that sense. I feel like she's that kind of person. Let's read a little bit and see if I'm kind of in the right direction.
それしみじみ言うことじゃないですから。
Yeah, it's also probably a little bit rude to say that, but sure. We all stared at Hirosaka's face.
なんですか実はケイコって結構こうなんていうか何でもできるよね
I don't know, Keiko I guess reminds me a little bit of Shikamaru from Naruto. Like where she finds certain things a pain. Like she's really talented and she's able to do a lot of things, but she maybe finds them a pain. Like,
はあ、まああの家をできるだけ早く出たいんでいろいろ勉強してますけど
資格？あれ？
Saki was taking lessons, but she hardly had anything like that. Come to think of it, you were studying for those too,
こ
right?
こでそれをバラすかトールは
I tried to change the subject because Saki seemed a little concerned, but it looked like I'd screwed
料
up.
理もできるし可愛いし歌うまいしギター弾けるしなんで友達少ないの
Wow, okay, Alice. Still being a little bit mean. I mean, I know she's asking genuinely, but like, I think she means it in a way of like, oh, you're so talented, you're pretty, you know, you can do all this. Like, how come you don't have a ton of friends surrounding you? I mean, but I also feel like Keiko, if she was gonna have friends, she would want like genuine friends. I mean, it's easy if you're popular in the sense that you just have a lot of interesting things going on in your life and you're an interesting person that you would have people around you, right? Like that's just natural. You would have people that gravitate towards that. But I don't think she really just wants people that are there to be there. I think she wants people that are genuinely there for her. Not necessarily what she can provide for them, but in the sense that like she wants good company. She wants people that genuinely enjoy being around her. And maybe she doesn't have a lot of people like that. Maybe she hasn't met a lot of genuine people. Since it seems like she kind of lives in like a little bit of a higher class, right? At least from what I've seen of her father and, you know, the kind of events they went to. Maybe she just doesn't connect with those kind of people. I don't think she should keep insinuating that Hirosaka didn't have many friends, but I was a little curious too, so I didn't stop her.
性格が面倒だからでしょ
I've definitely done things like that. Like, I don't interrupt a conversation or I just sit there and listen quietly, like, and pretend I'm not interested, but I am, because I just want to know. I like when people ask these really bold, like, direct questions. It's very interesting to me. It's because her personality is a pain.
普段猫かぶってるあなたに言われたくはないですね
Okay, well, wow, they're spitting fire.
何言ってるの人によって態度変えるな なんて社会じゃ当たり前のことじゃない。
Yes, but to certain extremes. I don't know. I feel like hers is very different. But, you know, yeah, I've definitely gotten to know certain people over time and see them in different situations, and definitely gotten to see different sides of them. You definitely only see maybe one or two different sides of people. And, you know, people just naturally, I think, have different sides to them depending on who they're with. So, I mean, I want to give her some credit for that. I think that's true. I don't know, though.
兄さんどうにかして。
But, I don't know. Would you guys say Yayui's different personalities, the ones she shows, like, everyone at school, and the ones she shows, like, Toru, are, like, really different? I guess I wouldn't say it's too extreme, you know? I think it makes sense. Like, you're more comfortable around friends. You kind of, like, open up to them. You joke around. You kind of know their humor, so you can kind of be a certain way. Whereas with strangers, you'd probably try to act more proper. Especially because, you know, she's in the student council and things like that. Orange sure is tasty. Saki pinched my leg hard. Well, hold on, you two. Fighting's not good. Don't fight in my apartment. If you're gonna fight, take it
この
outside.
人が売ってこなければ私は相手をしません。ねえ、だって稽古が売ってほしそうにしてるから。
Perez, go back to your house and stay. Wait, what are you doing? Perez scurried out of the Kurtatsu and hid behind me, clinging onto me tightly. I could feel her pressing her chest against my back as the pleasant scent of her perfume wafted to my nose. Next to us, Saki gave an aura akin to that of a wary cat bristling its
言
fur.
った通りにしてるんじゃない。これ結構あったかいわね。
Is she implying that because he said, go to your house and stay? What? Perez pressed against me more and more, so
こ
soft.
んな状況誰かに見られたらトルってば嫉妬の渦に包まれた挙句に刺されるんじゃないかしら。ほら例のクリスマス会の
Oh
人たちとか。
gosh. Please tell me we don't have to see them
そ
again.
の前にハスノさんがどうにかするんじゃないんでしょうか。
The two slurped soba and watched TV like it was no concern of theirs. Perez, could you back off a little? And Saki, what are you doing? Saki put down her chopsticks and laid down on my lap.
食後に少しくらいゆっくりしてもいいじゃない。それとも弥生先輩は良くて私はダメっていうのかしら。
Saki is being very bold today. She's just not hiding her attraction to him. Saki was on my lap and Club Perez was behind me. What kind of situation was this? Not to mention these two are really starting to get comfortable. On the TV, an idol group with God knows how many members appeared. It's true though. Hirozaga immediately changed the channel.
あれ、聞きたかったんですか。そっかそっか。トールもミニスカートに興味のあるお年頃なのね。
Peppers chuckled wickedly as she stroked the underside of my jaw. Whoa, from my lap, Saki looked up at us with a strange expression. No, not really. To be honest, I wanted to watch a little, but I couldn't say that in this atmosphere. With them still squishing me, I stiffly watched the channels flicker. One by one, the channels flashed by. One was with, they were ringing a temple bell for New Year's.
ちょっと止めて。
Hirozaga stopped changing the channel. Gong went the bell. It was at some big temple with a lot of visitors gathered around. Alice's eyes were glued to the scene. Did you remember something? Thought maybe the scene had stimulated something, but...
そういうのは全然ない。
Alice's answer was refreshingly blunt, but her eyes were shining. Club Perez and I both noticed this, but we couldn't stop her.
もうで。2年前で行きたい。
Ooh, that would be fun. They should go to a shrine. I want to see the girls in yukatas, of course. You know, they have to. Are you serious?
いや、この。
Immediately, her face changed that of a child whose toy had been taken away. A sense of guilt immediately welled up within me.
ねえ、トール。外ってかなり寒いわよね。
Yeah, but that's fine. You can go get some, I don't know, something warm to eat and something warm to drink. Still pressed against my back, Club Perez looked out the window. Even through her clothes and her bra, I could feel her boobs against me.
というか、あれ、雪じゃないですかね。
For the first time since Christmas Eve, there was snow falling from the sky.
外寒い。2年前で。私は部屋でぬくぬくしててもよくないかしら。だったらお一人でどうぞ。
Hirosaka laughed through her nose.
他のみんなも行くかなんて決まってないじゃない。弥生は行かないの？
Alice aimed her shining eyes past me. Clipper's groaned and turned away.
やめて。私にそんな綺麗な目を向けないで。
まあ兄さんがこういうお願いを断ったところ見た
Oh,
こと
hell
ない
yeah, we're
ですし
going. Saki sat up from my lap and Klepra slowly peeled herself from my back. I felt both relieved and disappointed.
兄さんはもう少し我慢を覚えてほしいんだけど
Saki said with an annoyed expression as she looked down at my waist. I can't do anything about this with willpower alone, so cut me some slack. Hirosaka and Alice tilted their heads, not quite noticing where Saki was looking. Klepra's feigned innocence. Hey, it's half your fault, you know. I sank into the kotatsu.
トールもまさか弥生と残ってぬくぬくしたい派？
No, I'll go. So let me say this a little bit longer. I just need a moment to calm down. Not that I could actually say that out loud.
トールも残れば二人でダラダラまったりできたのに。
Yeah, I know what you two would have been doing. Grumbling, Klepra picked up her smartphone. She seemed to be looking for a map of the shrines in the
この
area.
辺だとどこの神社がいいのかしら。
お参りなら水郷のお稲荷さんに行ってましたけど歩くと少し遠いですね
じゃあ夜のお散歩も一緒にしようよ。5人なら詰めればタクシーに入りませんか？
I've wondered. It would be a tight fit with 4 people in the back, but Saki and Hirosaka were small, so maybe it would work.
友達と夜中にブラブラするのって楽しそうなのに。
Sounds a little dangerous, but are you a child? But since this whole thing was Alice's idea, maybe it was inevitable that we'd end up doing what she wanted. The tent I was pitching might... Okay, I know they were implying it, but why do you need to say it, okay? I'm not... And then you guys clipped me last time I said something like this, so no, I'm not saying it again. Nope, won't give you the satisfaction. Settled down, so I stood up to get my coat. Couldn't say no to Alice when there were eyes shining like that.
行くの？もう行くの？
We could relax here longer, but some might change their minds
間
about
違い
going.
ないわね。
Said the person most likely to change their mind.
それ自信を持って言うところじゃないでしょ。
We'd been done with the soba for a while already. I figured a walk would be a nice after-meal
兄
exercise.
さんと2年参りなんていつ以来かしら
And I feel like this is the Japanese way. A shrine, eating some soba, walking it off, you know. You don't need to take a car anywhere. You're not American. You're not like us where you just take cars every single little place. Probably before Maya left us, I knew that, but maybe Saki hadn't realized it since she looked so happy. I petted her head instead of answering her. You'd always call me to your house, so that's usually how we'd spend New
なん
Year's.
かまた兄と妹で入りづらい空気を醸し出してる。そうやってさきちゃんが楽しそうにしてるのいちいち邪魔しなくても。
With a wry smile, Alice started getting ready to go out.
雪強くならないといいですね。
Hirosaka murmured, looking out the window. Going to the shrine. Excited. We walked along the lightly snow-covered path. And with that, we end the episode, because I think that was good. I think there was actually a lot of interesting dialogue. It's good and bad to have episodes where not much happens, where we're just kind of talking, and, you know, I like to enjoy it. I mean, I don't want it to happen too often. I like when there's a little bit of excitement, a little bit of stuff going on, but at the same time, it's nice to see the characters getting along so well. I really feel like everybody was really bonding. Like, even Keiko and Yayoi, just a little bit. Still butting heads, you know, but they were getting along a little bit, which I enjoyed. Yeah, I mean, I think overall it was a pretty good episode. A little bit of a entryway into Chapter 7. Didn't get into a route yet. I guess we still got longer. I mean, every time I think, like, something's about to happen in this game, we're about to, like, wrap it up. Nah. We still haven't even gotten into the character routes yet. But I'm enjoying getting to know the characters a little bit more before we, like, really jump into one, you know? It'll be nice. Anyways, we're gonna end it here. I think this was a solid point to stop. And we're gonna see the shrine. That's gonna be exciting. Hopefully we'll get a nice CG of that, you know? I feel like it's been a while since we've had a good CG. But anyways, I'll see you guys then. Have a good one.